All right, it's time to go over my top 10 quarterbacks for week 6. We're getting right into the video talking about number 10, Kirk Cousins. This guy is really starting to click on all cylinders as it goes. I mean, he's starting to get his people involved, except for Kyle Pitts for the most part. I mean, he has a splash from here and there. But other than that, I mean, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Darnell Mooney. I mean, they got some guys on this offense that's really clicking there with Kirk Cousins. And he's able to go out there and provide some really good fantasy numbers for your team this week, taking on a Panthers defense that ranks 27th against opposing quarterbacks. He should absolutely be able to shred this defense. This is a divisional matchup. Should be a nice, decent matchup for the most part, probably until the first quarter ends, because let's just face it, the Panthers are not a good football team. Yes, Andy Dalton has elevated this team, but even he got pulled last week for Bryce Young to come back in there because the game was already out of hand. I think they're slowly but surely, they're trying to get Bryce Young back into the swing of things, and I just don't think he's a good quarterback. But that's nor here nor there. I think Kirk Cousins is a phenomenal play this week. I think he's going to absolutely shred the Carolina Panthers. I mean, at number 10, I think is an absolute steal for this quarterback. If you have him, you need to be putting this guy into your lineup unless you have one of these topper echelon type of guys. But Kirk Cousins should be able to get the job done once again for fantasy football. Easily number 10 for me. Coming here at number 9, we have to talk about Kyler Murray. This is a guy that I could have way higher expectations on if Marvin Harrison Jr. would just get his head up his ass and start playing a lot better. I mean, he's dropping passes he shouldn't be dropping. The consistency just isn't there with Marvin Harrison Jr. Had a letdown game last week. I think this week maybe Kyler Murray gets back on the hive and try to really get these guys going. He's got Trey McBride back from his concussion protocol last week. That did really, really well. I think McBride's going to get even better this week. But this week, let's talk about Kyler Murray taking on this Packers defense that ranks 26th against opposing quarterbacks. He needs to get Marvin Harrison Jr. to continue to develop. I mean, if this doesn't happen, doesn't come to fruition, this is going to be huge. Marvin Harrison Jr. came into the NFL supposedly the next Megatron, right? He was so much hype around this guy. And yes, while I think he's still young, he needs time to figure out the NFL. It's a lot different game than it is in college football. It's gonna come, right? There's just so much hype around this guy. And when it's not coming to fruition early on in the season through 5 weeks, consistently people are going, man, is Marvin Harrison Jr. really good, or is he just an okay wide receiver? I think he's a great wide receiver eventually. Right now, he's a good wide receiver. I think he has the pedigree in him with his dad being Marvin Harrison. He can get better, right? He's got the work ethic. He's got the talent around him to be solid. I just think he just needs some more time to develop. But, you know, Kyler Murray still going to be a good play this week. Again, I think he's going to be even a better play once Marvin Harrison kind of gets up to speed, right? So, move right along here at number 8. We're going CJ Stroud. This is a quarterback that's got a plethora of weapons around him. Will he not have Nico Collins with him next week? I don't think Nico Collins is going to play this week, which is going to kind of hurt a little bit of the numbers, but he still got Stephon Diggs. He still has Tank Dell out there. He's got some options, right? This week, taking on a Patriots defense that ranks 9th against opposing quarterbacks, Another chance for a win, right? Against this team, you know, that they really should beat. They should not go in there and lose to the Patriots, even if they don't have Nico Collins at the wide receiver position. I think CJ Stroud still has enough juice to get the thing done. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, still young in his own right, still learning, still developing, and he's going to still get even better. But, you know, CJ Stroud, if you have him as your quarterback, he's a set it and forget it. He's pretty much matchup proof no matter who he goes through. Even though he may be missing one of his options, he has a plethora of options behind him. So CJ Stroud could be a solid option for you. I like myself some CJ Stroud this week. Moving right along here at number 7, we're going Dak Prescott. Prescott's one of those guys that, you know, you see him put up some monstrous games, and then you see some games you're like, what the heck is this guy doing? I think Dak Prescott's got the players around. This week he should absolutely eat. You know, this week you see him going against a Lions team that ranks 24th against opposing quarterbacks. I just say overall the Cowboys team is just too good to have a record like they do. They should be putting up way more points per game. Their defense should be stopping a lot of people at a higher clip. This team just should be better, right? This is what we all expect, especially in the offseason. We're like, okay, this guy, Dak Prescott, he's going to be a top fantasy quarterback that you can get in the mid to late rounds. You see CeeDee Lamb is going to be a top fantasy, if not the top fantasy wide receiver in the NFL. It is what it is. You see some of these times the games are like, whoa, this is what we thought that offense could be, and it's just not coming out to be that. So this week, I think they could right the ship, end up going out there, having a monster of a game. I look for the Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson show to really be on it this week. Love myself some Dak Prescott. Move right along here. At number 6, we're going Josh Allen. This is a quarterback. He's going to have a rough matchup this week, right? But we already used to Josh Allen normally being the number 1 quarterback on the week in and week out. This week, I'm saying temper your expectations, but by no means am I saying if you have Josh Allen, you should be sitting him. Almost said shitting him. That wouldn't have been good. But don't ever sit Josh Allen. I just had I like other people a little bit better than this week. So if you're playing DFS or something, like doing some drafts on drafters, maybe not pick Josh Allen this week, right? He's going against a tough Jets defense that ranks first against opposing quarterbacks. And like I said, he could face that tough test this week, right? So, there's never an option where you sit Josh Allen. But in these cases, if you have if you're doing DFS or something, I just wouldn't put him on your lineup. He's going to have a rough team against that Jets defense. It's just kind of battle with him. They're losing their head coach, and Selly, he got fired. I think that the Jets may come to play, right? And they're going to be kind of rally around each other, rally around Aaron Rodgers. And they're going to completely blow out the Bills, I believe, this week. I think just with the firing of that head coach is going to fire up that team, which is going to make things really hard on Josh Allen. I say just stay away from Josh Allen if you can. If you have him on your team, though, in redraft or dynasty, you got to start Josh Allen. It is what it is. Coming here at our top 5. Coming at number 5, we're going back to the well on Jaylen Herz, coming fresh off of this bye week. I think everything's going to be clicking on all cylinders. He's getting all of his weapons back. A.J. Brown should be back. Devonta Smith should be back. His tackle Lane Johnson should be back. This offense is back together and ready to really put on a show. This week, they're going against a Browns defense that ranks 8th against opposing quarterbacks. He needs to come out strong right after this bye week. I think, with all the injuries and all the things that are happening with the Eagles, people are kind of writing these guys off already. They're still a good offense, right? And I think this week they can start to right the ship just a little bit, even though they're going against a little bit of a tougher defense here. I still think Jaylen Herz, with this plethora of options out there, can still get the job done. Should be a solid fantasy football week for you. That's why I have him here at my top 5. Coming here at number 4, we're talking Jaden Daniels. This guy is starting to rise and rise and rise into my rankings. The more he matures, the more he learns the game of football, the better he is for fantasy football. And I'm liking him and his connection with Terry McLaurin. He's airing it out for quite a few deep shots to Terry McLaurin. I'm liking what I see. But this week, going against a Ravens defense that ranks 29th against opposing quarterbacks, if he can put it all together, this will be a terror for defenses. His rushing ability alone is giving you a high fantasy football floor, and with him taking so many deep shots, heaven forbid he get a real true deep threat on the opposite side of Terry McLaurin, this could be absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers for him to go out there and just provide a crazy amount of fantasy points for you. He could be a top fantasy quarterback for years to come. I like myself some Jaden Daniels. Moving right along at number 3, we're going Joe Burrow. Now he's starting to show what he can do. He's got these bomb ability to Jamar Chase, who can go out there and just light the field on fire at any given time. He's got T. Higgins out there catching the football, big body wide receiver. He's using his tight end Mike Gesicki quite a bit. I'm liking myself some Joe Burrow, but this week he takes on a Giants defense that ranks 17th against opposing quarterbacks. He may have a coming out party, let's just say, against the Giants this week. He's starting to get the momentum, but they're just not coming away with the wins. Joe Burrow, you can see, he's like, hey, we are not a championship team at this point. I think he wants to make them a championship team. I think this is the week that they get out there and they start to prove that they could be the team. Right there, they were known for a while, for a few years, or at least just a few years ago, the team to compete with the Chiefs for the AFC Championship. Right now, they're almost a laughingstock at this point because, yes, they have the players, but they're not coming away with the W's, right? So this week, I think they put it all together. They come out there and they absolutely blow out their opponent, and it's going to be Joe Burrow is the biggest reason why. Move right along here at number 2. I'm going Jordan Love. He's still hindered a little bit by the injury, but he's coming out here, and I'm saying he is showing that he is a top quarterback in the league. What about these Packers, right? Going from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. What kind of luck are the Packers having with their quarterback position? People wait years to find a good quarterback. But you look at the Panthers, right? And then the Packers are just sitting up there like, yep, we got this guy, we got this guy, and we got this guy. Rocking and rolling. But I love myself some Jordan Love this week, taking on a Cardinals defense that ranks 26th against opposing quarterbacks. And like I was saying earlier, they're really starting to click on all cylinders, right? He's having Tucker Kraft really coming out of his show as the tight end. Even though without Christian Watson and Romeo Dewes being suspended, you got people like Jaden Reed that's completely stepping up. You have Dontavian Wicks there as well. I mean, and then Josh Jacobs in the backfield. So this offense is completely loaded, right? And they're moving the ball up and down the field at will. And Jordan Love is at the helm, just putting it all onto his shoulder, slinging the ball all over the field and putting up a lot of solid fantasy production. I like myself some Jordan Love. I think he continues to do that week in and week out and could be a really good option for you, especially here in week 6. That way we move right along to our number 1 quarterback this week. I'm saying Lamar Jackson. The dude's freaking awesome, right? At any given week, he can just blow the top off of a defense, either with his arm or with his legs, and just give you a solid fantasy production and help you win in any given week. This week, he's taking on a Commanders defense that ranks 23rd against opposing quarterbacks. He is the most electrifying quarterback in the NFL. This guy can do everything he wants, and against the Commanders defense, who struggles really at all facets of the defense, at the back end, the linebackers, the rushing the game, everything. They can't do anything because they don't have a very good defense. So I think Lamar Jackson will come in here, absolutely shred these guys between him and Derrick Henry. It could be a show, right? Because if Jaden Daniels is able to compete against a secondary that can't really stop them, and Lamar Jackson going back and forth, you're going to have Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson, 2 quarterbacks that's going to be going tit for tat, back and forth. This could be a crazy fantasy week for both Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels. I can't wait to see it, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. Is there a quarterback out there that I didn't put in my top 10 that you'd be more wanting to look and see that, hey, he should be in the top 10? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious what you guys think. So I'm putting out videos each and every week, right, to help you make the best choices and put the best lineups possible to ultimately win that championship. I want to see you guys raise the trophy. Make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe button. Most of you guys aren't subscribed, and you guys could definitely help out the channel by doing so. Appreciate you guys watching the video all the way through as well, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.